Hello everyone, welcome to Mid-Michigan Course Reviews. This is the Vines Disc Golf Course. Hole 1 is a 260-foot dog leg to the left. It seems like it's pretty easy based by the layout, but it really isn't. We didn't really have any practice throws, but we still managed to get it out there decently. Even though we both threw it into the trees, we both ended up on the fairway. Now, we might not have the best form or distance, but we have been playing since Easter of this year, so be patient with us a little bit. Playing today is myself, Michael Lennon, and my fiance, Desirae Dodge. That shot right there I thought was going in, and it kind of contradicts what I just said recently. I mean, you're gonna see that the more that we play, that we don't have the best shots in the world, but we are actually not too bad for the limited time that we have been playing. Hole 2, as well as the front 9, which we'll be covering today, they're all par 3s, and this one is 221 foot. It's a slight dogleg left, but mostly you just want to go with a straight shot right down the middle, which is a little bit hard for a lefty, as I am, but it's still pretty hard for a righty as well. Now, if you're interested in playing this course, but you're not sure of the location, this is Mid-Michigan. This course is located in Ithaca, Michigan. It's called the Vines. You can find it in Reed's Park, which is by North Star. My tee shot ended up in a pretty decent place. It gave me a good opportunity to get a birdie early on in the game, which I capitalized on. Desirae taps in for her first par of the game. Now this is hole 3, and yes, it looks difficult, and I assure you it's actually more difficult than the way it looks. You have to somehow manage to get through all these crooked trees. It's not a long hole at 200 feet, but somehow I managed to get through. I didn't end up in a good place. I remember that much. And Desirae just tries to avoid the trees altogether and somehow ends up on the fairway, which is really good. A tee shot that doesn't end up in the woods is phenomenal. Here I try to go with a thumber. I probably could have got a little bit better distance with a hyzer, but I do have a look at the basket. Desirae puts it right up there. She's within 10 foot. If you wanted to travel to the Vines and you have family that aren't big fans of disc golf, then this place has amazing trails to walk. It has a lake where you can fish, you can swim. Beautiful course altogether, or park I should say. A lot of softball fields. I mean, this park has basically everything. You should definitely bring your family here. The holes just seem to get shorter and shorter, but more trees seem to start appearing even right on the fairway, and this one is very difficult towards the end. You really have to put it in a good place where you miss all of the trees. We both ended up bogeying on 3, and we're both trying to get a birdie on this one to make up for it. I would say that our putting game is what lacks the most, and as you see here, we didn't really have too terrible of shots, and I made mine, but I'd like to get the discs a little flatter. We've been practicing in the backyard for this. This is hole 5, 250 foot, another one that is potentially aceable, as well as a good majority of the holes on the front 9 at this park. And I actually had a great throw. I got all the way down there. The distance was good, but it went off to the right, which didn't really appear too much on camera. Hole 5 is definitely a left-hander's dream off of the tee, but towards the end, you have the trees just right there that make it very difficult if you're going for that ace shot. For a right-hander, if they could manage to S it right on in there, I think it's going to be more likely for a lefty to do it. Desirae had an amazing shot there. I thought that was in. That had to be at least 60 feet. And then me, about 60 foot as well, right off of the front of the basket. That was very upsetting. I thought that was in. Now you may be watching this and saying, 60 foot, I make them all the time. But us, if we make a 60-footer, we're celebrating. I have been setting personal goals for myself every single month, and this one is one of my goals. I definitely want to get par on this hole. I know par isn't much to talk about, but this is a 447-foot hole, and it's a par 3. You have a tunnel to go through. You have about 20 trees just on the way to the basket, right out in the middle of the fairway. It's really hard to find a line, even though it's really open. It's one of those holes that are just different from any other course. We actually had Desirae tee off a little bit farther forward, just at the end of the tunnel, or halfway through it, I should say. She prefers the guy's tee pad most of the time, but holes like this, sometimes it's better to take that little handicap. Me, and I'm sure a good majority of people, when it comes to this hole, it reminds me of Happy Gilmore, just tap it in. And that's basically what you're doing. You're just tossing the disc a little bit closer the entire time. It's 447 feet. I know there's pros out there that can throw 600 feet, but here I am. I can shoot about 320 foot in an open field, but this hole isn't really open. However, it does appear that way. Finishing up on hole 6, unfortunately, I did not get par, but I will get that. I'm hoping this month. But on to hole 7, 370 feet. I would say hole 6 and hole 7 are the lengthiest and two of the more difficult courses. I don't know what you call it. Do you call it holes or do you call it baskets? Basket 7? I'm not sure. But it's a difficult hole. I'm going to call it a hole. You really have to get it through that opening there. And again, Desirae tees off from a closer distance, but I managed to get mine through there. And if you get through, you're pretty much guaranteed a par, so long as your second shot lays up decently. And it's also a good chance for a birdie if you have a drive of, I'd say, right around 350 feet. But score updates, I dropped down to even, but I'm very happy with even. And Desirae is currently at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over, I believe. But hole 8, this is my hole. This is not just my hole, but I'm gonna claim it as my own because I love it so much. But lefties in general, they should all love this. It's just a simple shot, a hyzer. Put it right over there, 20 foot from the basket. So long as you don't hit the trees. It does grow up quite a bit in this park with, as summer goes on. Now, a little bit of the reasons why we decided to start disc golfing is because, bowling closed and we needed some other form of sport entertainment. And disc golf was what we chose. And after playing with friends, it just became a new addiction. And because of that, in 50 days, I managed to lose 30 pounds. However, it doesn't really look like it there, but I assure you, I was a lot bigger than that, and I am still getting smaller. Hole 9, the final hole of the front 9, and it is 202 feet, basically straight, slight dog leg to the right. If you're gonna ace it, this is gonna be the one. And I kind of wondered if they planned that, because it seems like all of hole 18s and hole 9s, where you're finishing your game, they make it simple. I'm not going to say every course, but a good majority of them. I just had an amazing drive. It went directly underneath the basket. It slid maybe 10 or 15 foot past, but here Desirae tries to kill me, but I didn't hold it against her. It was a pink disc. That'd be the way to go if I had to. But she made up for it. Beautiful shot. I wouldn't go around the tree that way, but she managed to make it work. And here I am finishing up hole 9 with a birdie, double birdie to end the game, and I finished -2. I am extremely happy. That is a very good score for myself, and Desirae +6. Not bad. Thanks for watching, and make sure y'all leave those trees alone.